The next verse we're all very familiar with. The brother was reading Hadith al-Qisa earlier. Within that there is a verse in chapter 33, verse 33, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? Verily I intend to keep away from you all blemishes, O Ahlul Bayt, and to purify you with a thorough purification. Here we have a problem. What? Who is the Ahlul Bayt? Now, in linguistic Arabic, Ahlul Bayt is people of the house. Linguistically speaking. So what the others groups within Islam have done is they've decided to put the wives in the Ahlul Bayt, and they've decided to say that this verse of 33 of Surah Ahzab was revealed about the wives of the Prophet. We say, okay, let's address this academically. The verse before is speaking about the wives, no doubt. The verse after is speaking about the wives, no doubt. In Arabic grammar, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to address males and females, there's a difference. You see, in English, we just have you and them, if you were to address an individual. You and them. The reason I'm going into this is because as Shias, we need to know these answers. Why? Because when our enemies approach us and they say to us that the wives are included in the Ahlul Bayt, you need to be able to answer this. And you need to be able to answer it academically to show them that the wives are not included within the Ahlul Bayt in this verse. There's a man, one man, anta. Two, antuma. Three, antum. One woman, anti. Two, antuma. Three, antunna. So here I already showed you 6 words that mean the word you. When you have more women than men, the word changes. When you have more men than women, the word changes. So therefore we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when addressing this Ahlul Bayt, would have used the correct grammar. Now if you say that the wives are included within this Ahlul Bayt, I say to you, go back a verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to the wives and says what? Ya nisa'un nabi, fi bayutikunna. Kunna is the plural form of addressing women. Kunna. Allah says, Ya Nisa an-Nabi fi bayute kunna. Do not leave your homes. But they did leave their homes, didn't they? One of them did. One of them went out so far that she went to war with Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. So not only did she disobey the Quran, but disobeyed the Prophet and the nafs of the Prophet. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says kunna. Okay? Then let's go to the next verse of 34 of Surah Ahzab. Allah says kunna. Back 2 verses. 31 kunna. 32 kunna. Okay, now we know Allah speaking to the wives. Then you come on to 33. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? He says, وَيُطَهِرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. وَيُطَهِرَكُمْ. Now kum is the masculine form of them. 9 wives the Prophet had at one time. Some say 12, but let's go with the smaller number. 9 wives at one time Rasulullah has. 4 daughters according to some people. We'll address that point as well. 4 daughters according to, that's 13 women, yes? Out of those 13 women in a group, there's only 4 men. There's the Prophet, Amirul Mu'mineen, and the 2 grandsons. Which Ahlul Bayt would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say qum towards? That has more women than men? Therefore, this linguistic argument shows us that when Allah says kunna, and then says qum, there's a shift in tense. There's a shift in from feminine to masculine, which shows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is addressing a group that contains more men than women. Therefore, if you take the wives out, if you take these 3 supposed daughters out as well, it leaves you with an Ahlul Bayt of 5 individuals. 1 woman, 4 men, justified. Allah says, وَيُطَهِرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. This verse was also revealed in honor of the Holy Name. Now remember, before I said to you, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. I do not ask for any reward except that you have to love my family members. Rasulullah was asked, who is your family? And he introduced it how? My daughter, her husband and children, yes? Now let's see, how does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduce the Ahlul Bayt? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was also asked in Hadith al-Qisa, that when the 5 got inside the cloak, Ya Rab, waman tahta al-Qisa. Oh Allah, who is in the cloak? Allah is boasting about this Ahlul Bayt. He's saying in the heavens, Ya malaikati wa ya sukkana samawati. Oh those who reside in my heavens. Inni ma khalaqtu sama'an mabniyan wa la ardan mad'iyan. I have created the erected sky and the flattened earth. I have created the moon, the sun, the stars, the ships, the mountains, the trees, the seas. Everything illa fi muhabbati. هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. Out of the love of the 5 that are present in the cloak, even then Jibreel says, Ya Rab, waman tahta al-kisa. Oh Allah, who is in the cloak? Allah could have easily introduced the Ahlul Bayt by saying this is the Prophet and his family. Allah could have easily have said to the angels, this is Amirul Mu'mineen and his family. Allah could have said it's Hassan and Hussein, their mum, dad, and their nanaji. Allah could have easily have said that, but you know why Allah didn't use these words? Our Mufassirin who have written tafsir of the verse, they've given an analogy. What they've said is, Rasulullah has certain links to certain people, yes? He's married certain daughters of certain individuals, yes? Which means Susarji Bani. There's a link, yes? Ahlul Bayt means family. So Allah knows certain people are related to the Prophet through marriage. Okay. Therefore, these four individuals have certain links towards their family ties that people can say, why? We're related to the Prophet. We're related to Amirul Mu'mineen, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein. However, the only one lady that is purified from all four sides. The only woman in history whose father is a Nabi, whose husband is a wasi, whose children are ma'soom imams. Therefore, when Jibreel said, Ya Rab, waman tahta al-kisa, Allah said, hum Fatima wa abuha wa bahluha wa banuha. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to introduce the Ahlul Bayt through her. Why? Because He knew she was pure from all sides. He knew that nobody could link towards this Ahlul Bayt.